The second half of the Formula 1 season kicks off this weekend at one of the sport's most famous tracks, Spa-Francorchamps, and it's bringing plenty of drama with it. In just a few weeks, a lot has happened. We've seen major changes at Red Bull, big questions about Max Verstappen's future, and a championship fight that is really starting to heat up between the two McLaren drivers. Hello and welcome to your preview of the 2025 Formula 1 Belgian Grand Prix, brought to you by Kayo Sports. I'm Ethan Fleetwood, and let's jump into things. This isn't just any race weekend, it is a sprint weekend. That means that drivers only get one practice session before jumping into sprint qualifying on Friday, with a sprint race on Saturday before qualifying later on Saturday for the race on Sunday. Less practice means that they've got less time to get the car working perfectly, and Spa is a track where you really need to have the setup right. And this could hurt teams like Red Bull, who have been struggling to do so recently, as seen in Silverstone last time out. And of course, it wouldn't be Spa without unpredictable weather. Early forecasts say that mid-temperatures around 20 degrees Celsius are to be expected, but there is a high chance of rain on Friday and Sunday for the race. Saturday does look the clearest, so it should be okay for qualifying, but this is Spa, and you can't have any expectations really before we're out on track. It's a long circuit. You're likely to have rain on one side and sunshine on the other, which will make for some incredible strategy calls, almost similar to what we saw in Silverstone last time out. And speaking of, what has happened since Silverstone? Well, a lot. The biggest news is that Red Bull have officially parted ways with team boss Christian Horner after a very long period of time with the team, and Lauren Mekies has stepped in to replace him from Racing Bulls, where his first job is to turn around Red Bull's disappointing season. Easy, right? On top of that, Max Verstappen has been at the center of wild rumors, including reports of him going to Mercedes, and he has met with Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff since Silverstone and all of the drama that unfolded. Reports were that they were discussing a potential move on their yachts, and everyone was tracking their planes, and they ended up in Sardinia. However, Wolff has publicly said that they intend to keep their driver lineup of Kimi Antonelli and George Russell heading into next season, which was kind of to be expected. However, Max Verstappen's future is still a big talking point and will likely be brought back to the surface if Red Bull fails to perform at the start of next year. Let's keep an eye out for that. Let's be honest, Max's season has not gone to plan, and as it stands, he is now 69 points behind the championship leader Oscar Piastri. Red Bull is nowhere near as fast as the McLarens or even the Mercedes. And speaking of McLaren, this season is turning into a straight up fight between both of the drivers, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, the current leader and the Australian. Pitted against the young Brit, Oscar Piastri leads his teammate by just 8 points now after Lando's win in Silverstone. Piastri has been super consistent, winning 5 races and finishing in the points every weekend. Norris, however, does have the momentum now, winning the last 2 races and back in prime form. And the argument could be made that at this moment in time, he is the man to beat. While Oscar still remains the favorite to win it out over the entire season, Lando Norris is starting to be recognized as a major threat on the second half of the year. All it takes is a really good run of form to pull a bit of a gap, and before you know it, we could be heading down to the final race in Abu Dhabi. And then there's Verstappen. Spa is one of his favorite tracks, and as close as he'll get to a second home race. However, for the first time in years, Max Verstappen won't be a favorite to win at Spa. It can easily be said that Max's best chance of winning this weekend is playing to the advantage of the conditions, getting the strategy right, and ultimately letting the McLarens battle it out and make their own mistakes. With things falling his way, all it will take is a little bit of skill that we know he has to sneak on through and plant it on the top step. So what can we expect this weekend in Spa? A thrilling head-to-head between Norris and Piastri, Verstappen doing everything he can to stay in the fight with a very interesting new dynamic at the team, where Red Bull will be giving everything to start on the right foot with new leadership. And let's not forget the Mercedes, who were very strong here last year, getting a 1-2 before it was taken away from George Russell in what ended up to be a race that favored the one-stop. So let's see how strategy progresses this weekend, but throw in some rain, who knows. With lots of action going on at the front of the field and typical Spa chaos, this race is bound to be one of the most thrilling of the year. This is going to be an unpredictable one. It's the longest track of the year, it's a sprint weekend, it's Spa. Buckle up. This championship fight is just getting started. Watch the 2025 Formula 1 Belgian Grand Prix live on Kayo Sports. Head over to the link in the description, and while you're down there, let us know your thoughts in the comments. My bet is on drama.
Formula 1 is go! The greatest spectacle in motorsports. It is a new day.